sometimes can be the difference. Power than finesse. To score over other players.
Schools and the West Independent School District welcome you to Trojan Arena for TAP State Championship Basketball 2020. Our next game this evening is for the Conference 6A State Championship and features the Cardinals of John Paul II of Plano and the Apaches of Antonian College Prep High School of San Antonio. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please stand for our invocation to be given this evening by Father Mark. He is the chaplain of Antonian College Prep.
Let us pray. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Heavenly Father, we come before you this evening with grateful hearts. Both these teams have worked hard all season. May the time they spent preparing shine tonight as a testament to you. Bless and guide these athletes. May they appreciate their gifts and always bring honor to their schools by their actions. Keep them safe under the protection of your Son, Jesus Christ. us to be aware of his presence with us in this game. We ask your blessing on the coaches. We're grateful for their dedication to their athletic programs. Continue to help them guide these athletes to be the best they can be. Bless the officials, parents, faculty, and staff, and all the fans who continue to support these teams. And provide safe travel back home for the students and families. Reflecting the Catholic values of our school communities, may our behavior always reflect our faith in Jesus Christ, and our actions speak to the value of healthy competition. Grant us the grace to courageously live the gospel in our families and schools. And turning to our Blessed Mother, we ask for her continued help and protection as we say, Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen. Our Lady of Victory, in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Now please remain standing as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
The TAPS 6A State Championship game. The number 4 Antonian Prep Apaches, 35-7 on the year and defending state champions, against the number 1 John Paul II Cardinals on a 31-game winning streak, 39-1 on the season. From West High School in West Texas, a TAPS TV presentation. Mike Leslie joined by 34-year and 5-time state champion head high school basketball coach Earl Garland, as we bring you what we think will be perhaps the game of the night. It's going to be tough to top the previous game. That's part of why we're starting here at 6:23 at night. The 5A state championship game was spectacular, but this one as good, perhaps even better a matchup for 6A.
I think this is going to be an incredible game. I do want to mention that John Paul II at 39-1, their lone loss came to Frisco Memorial, I think back in November. So
November 26th.
Yeah, they have no idea what it is to lose. So we'll see how it turns out tonight. I think Antonian, I've not seen Antonian play, but I know they have Santiago Ochoa and Galvano Ramos, who can score like crazy. So we'll see how that goes.
As our public address announcer John Pritchett introduces the starting lineups here at West High School, we'll do the same here for you guys on the broadcast. Antonian Prep, led by their head coach Rudy Bernal, won yesterday in overtime, 84-81 against St. Mary's Hall to advance to the title game. Their starters, you mentioned Gavino Ramos, over 2,000 career points as just a junior. He had 33 yesterday to lead the way for the Apaches. He's a junior guard wearing number 3. Number 5, Santiago Ochoa, a freshman guard. Number 14, Devin Grant, a senior forward. Number 15, Brian Armstrong, a junior forward. And number 32, Freddie Amaro, a sophomore forward. For John Paul II, the Cardinals, their head coach Dan Lee in his first year at the helm for the Cardinals. Won yesterday in the state semifinals 65-57 against Midland Christian, the number 1 seed out of District 2, facing the number 1 seed out of District 3, Antonian. Last year, lost in the state semifinals against Prestonwood Christian. This year, a step farther and searching after their first ever state championship. Their starters, number 2, a senior guard, Jalen Tott. Number 4, a fellow senior guard, Jawan Tott. Number 10, Nate Dominic, a senior forward. Number 11, Donovan Johnson, a senior forward. And number 20, their best player, a junior forward, 6'6", Jalen Tyson. 21 points yesterday to lead the way for JP2. Offers from TCU, Oklahoma, Texas Tech, Florida, Kansas, LSU, Texas, among several others that are interested in the 3-star product. And this one should be an awful lot of fun tonight.
Yeah, and you know what I noticed? There's a lot of similarities between the 5A before this. The Antonian team is very young. A junior, 2 juniors, a sophomore, a freshman, and 1 senior, as compared to the Cardinals starting 4 seniors and a junior. So, as I said before the game prior, will the age, the maturity of John Paul be enough to win them the state championship?
Had a brief discussion with each head coach before the tip. Rudy Bernal said the big thing they need to focus on is second chance points. He said we also cannot turn the basketball over. John Paul II likes to run, and to that end, Dan Lee, their head coach, said they want to keep it up-tempo, offensively and defensively. You'll see the Cardinals full-court press and try to create those turnovers and get easy buckets.
Yeah, I've coached against Dan Lee many times, probably 10 times in my career, and his teams are always well prepared, and they do love the break. In fact, one of the things we'll want to look for, they have a nice little 3-pass break up the sideline, and then they run the post man down the middle while that's happening, and they make a lot of hay out of that, getting the ball into the post or shooting the 3. So we'll see what if that unfolds as we get along here.
Donovan Johnson at the center circle opposite Brian Armstrong, and it will be Antonian, the defending champs, to win the opening tip here in the 6A state championship game as we are underway. Antonian in the home whites, red numbers and letters and piping, and they move right to left in the opening half, and a foul away from the basketball against Antonian. It'll go against Freddie Amaro fighting for position underneath.
John Paul opened in their trademark man-to-man, and Antonian called for a moving screen down there on the baseline.
John Paul II in the road reds, blue letters and numbers, white piping. They'll move left to right in the opening half. 3 on the way is good for Jalen Tyson.
Tyson screened and then came off a screen and got a great shot.
Santiago Ochoa, the freshman guard, been called the best freshman in the San Antonio area. Foul away from the basketball once again, and it'll be a baseline inbound for Antonian.
Santiago doesn't look like a freshman out there already. Oh my goodness.
Bucket underneath, too easy.
And who would expect that? A really short player in the middle of the lane for a lob pass for a layup on a baseline out of bounds play. Who would expect that?
Ramos had 33 yesterday to lead the way for Antonian. 2,058 career points coming into today. That's according to Max Preps. 3-pointer goes begging this time off the hands of Tyson. Ochoa gets the handoff. Down the lane, Can't finish. Rebound pulled down by Donovan Johnson. Jalen Tott had 21 points in the regional final, 10 yesterday, 3 right there.
I think he has the best shot on the John Paul team. He's just a beautiful jump shooter, great rotation on his shot, perfect form, really fun to watch him shoot.
Brian Armstrong, and now another foul away from the basketball.
Well, that's a silly foul by Tyson there. Just running through the screen. Shouldn't happen. He just ran right through that screen.
Baseline inbound. Ochoa quickly inbounds, and the easy bucket underneath for Freddie Amaro.
I don't know what John Paul's thinking on the baseline inbounds plays, but they're asleep right now. They need to wake up.
An exchange here. Khalil Warfield already into the basketball game, misses the 3 on the left-hand side of the 10. Three on the way, misses on the back side of the iron. Beg your pardon, that was Nate Dominic shooting the 3 a moment ago for JP2, and what a finish by Jalen Tyson in the foul.
That's amazing body control by Tyson to be able to get that shot up while he's being pushed. He was being pushed away from the basket and still had the wherewithal to get the shot up and score. Beautiful play. Now can he make it count?
Chance for 3 the old-fashioned way after he started the scoring with a 3-pointer, and he's got 6 in the early going.
John Paul in their standard full-court man.
Jawan Tott chasing Davino Ramos around the floor. Underneath, Devin Grant can't finish. And Jalen Tott will look to run. Gets it back in the corner. Step back 3. Short. Johnson tipped the rebound but can't grab it. Amaro down with it. Behind the back dribble, into the lane. Lefty floater won't go for Armstrong. .4:20 to play, first quarter, a 9-4 start. Tyson trying to add to it, short on the 3-pointer. A day ago, Devin Grant was huge for Antonian Prep. 25 points working in the lane. Here Ramos misses on the backside of the rim. I wonder, can they get him as involved today as he was yesterday against a bigger and longer JP2 team. What a move in transition, Nate Dominic. And it's an 11-4 start for the Cardinals.
What a beautiful reverse layup. My goodness, down the lane and a twisting reverse layup. Well done by Donovan.
Ramos. Amaro pump fakes the 3 in the corner. Open look. Short. Offensive board, though, for Armstrong. No foul. Tons of contact. He got up looking for a whistle, and there was none to be found. Back the other way comes JP2.
That was just your standard football play.
Off the back iron, no good for Tott, and they'll look to run with it. Knocked away, and what a play by Donovan Johnson behind the back to keep it away from the defense as he makes the steal. So far, to the script of Dan Lee. Up tempo, turnovers created, and JP2 has capitalized on those turnovers as they jump out to this 11-4 start.
They run a little stagger screen there for Tott.
His corner 3 misses, loose ball on the deck, and up comes with it Antonian and Ochoa. Blocked away. Jalen Tyson erases it.
Nice block, and it looks like Tott could have had a charge there as well on Ochoa, but they didn't call that. And a nice block by Tyson to help his teammate.
Smart play by Armstrong to let it run into the backcourt first before he retrieves it. Antonian just needs to kind of find themselves in the early moments here. Down 11-4, but They've got all the talent in the world to play with anybody, including JP2. But it has not been a clean start for them so far. Foul on the floor. Our 3 officials today.
That's the second foul on Tyson. That's big.
Yes, it is.
Yep. I know when I was coaching, I had a 2-foul rule. You get 2 fouls, you come sit down. But, man, he's leaving him in the game.
Is it possible that the foul was on 10, Dominic, not 20, Tyson? Because that was who just left the basketball game.
No, they signaled 20, I'm pretty sure. But
Ramos from way out, misses on the left side of the 10. And again, they'll run. This time Ramos able to tip it. Ochoa and Ramos with numbers up ahead. That ball was tipped. They're going to say it wasn't tipped. The entire Antonian fan base trying to argue that that ball was tipped. Timeout, Rudy Bernal.
Antonian's taking a 30-second timeout. If I was Dan Lee right now, I'd be concerned with my transition defense because Antonian is outrunning them right now, and they need to do a better job of getting back, or they're not going to turn the ball over like that every time. They're going to start getting burned if they don't get back.
2:02 to play here in the first quarter, an 11-4 start for John Paul II out of Plano. The Cardinals 39-1 on the year, 31 wins in a row dating back to November 26th. 2 days before Thanksgiving was the last time this basketball team lost a game.
That seems like a long time ago. That was last year.
It was a long time ago.
It was last year, wasn't it? Yeah, that's I kind of wonder how will they respond if they get down, having not been in a close game in quite some time.
They don't have the problem of being behind right now.
Nope.
Out to this 11-4 lead. Jawan Tott picks up his dribble. And a travel at the top of the key. Alex Zambi shuffled his feet.
Yeah, he doesn't know it, but he switched his pivot feet on the catch.
Patience against the pressure, and it leads to an opportunity up ahead and a block. And a lot of contact underneath and holding his back on the baseline. I haven't been able to catch a number yet.
That's Nate Dominic. Big number 10 down.
No, Dominic's the one who went to the bench. I thought for a second it might have been Tyson, but it's not. I still have not been able to catch
I can't tell who it is.
Who that is on the baseline. I think it might be number 11, Donovan Johnson, the senior.
Yes, you're right. It is Donovan Johnson. I was seeing the number wrong. Boy,
Johnson, one of the star football players for John Paul II as well, on his way to play college football. He's got a lot of schools after him. 3-star recruit, going to play tight end at the next level. Played wide receiver for their state finalist football team. But they're going to put some meat on that frame and have him play tight end in college.
I guarantee you the football coaches saw that 6'6" frame and said, we can put some meat on that bone.
Slow to get up, but he does walk off under his own power, holding his kind of his tailbone more than anything else as he walks off the court. This is a prime opportunity to say a thank you to Children's Health Andrews Institute for being at all of our TAPS events to take care of our student athletes, and Donovan Johnson among them at the moment. You hope to see him come back on the floor here for JP2, certainly a key piece of what they do. In the meantime, it's Brian Armstrong to the free throw line to shoot 2.
I'm still wondering why they called that a block, but maybe the only thing I could think is he was too far into the basket.
Armstrong hits the first. I think that's a fair point. That's probably part of the impetus for that, because he was definitely positioned there, I would argue, before Armstrong took off.
Well, it's the hardest call in basketball, the block charge, and I don't think it'll ever be made easy. It's just the half arc would help, but it's still a tough call.
Layup off the left side of the 10, no good for Zambi. And here comes Ochoa.
That's a much better transition to defense there.
As a result, Ochoa had to check up and slowly bring it across the timeline. Off the screen, gives off for Ramos. Averages 23.3 a game, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, Shoots 44% from three-point range. He is their best player, and he had 33 yesterday to bring them to the championship game in an overtime win over St. Mary's Hall. Now he drives baseline, double clutches, gets his own rebound off the miss, saves it back in bounds on the baseline somehow and gets it up top for Amaro. Now Ochoa, nice move into the lane, adjusts, can't finish. Tot with the rebound, spinning around, lost it, and it's back to Armstrong, up ahead. Ramos can't hang on to it, gets in the corner, he'll try a three, misses long.
Great contest by Cameron Colhern there on that shot.
Nice cut for Tot, but it's knocked away. The steal by Amaro. And the final 12 seconds of the opening quarter will be at the mercy of Gavino Ramos. Down the lane, foul on the floor, they say. No bucket, baseline inbound.
And, Ramos is so slight of frame, you just can't believe that he's a 2,000-point scorer.
5.1 to work with here. Corner three rattles out. At the buzzer, they fire it down floor. No good off the hands of Jawan Tot. A little bit of a herky-jerky start to this one in the 6A championship game. It's an 11-5 lead for JP2 after one. We'll be back.
Aiden loves playing baseball. He's in his element when he picks up a baseball bat.
When Aiden tore his ACL last year, we were all devastated. We didn't think that a 13-year-old could have a problem such as that.
Children's Health Andrews Institute for Orthopedic and Sports Medicine not only repaired Aiden's ACL, but they gave him the knowledge and skills to prevent any future injuries.
Now, less than a year later, he's back to hitting homers and doing phenomenal.
Back at West High School, one quarter in the books, and we were just saying during the timeout, that first quarter was like a first date. These two teams just kind of getting to know each other a little bit over the course of the first 8 minutes. Both teams trying to find their footing. They haven't, frankly, yet. JP2 on a little more solid ground thanks to their 6-point lead, but both teams just off balance in the first quarter.
I would say, and a lot of it self-inflicted. Bad passes, just kind of some erratic play, but they're both doing that.
Crew chief Eric Talasis gives it to JP2 to start the second quarter. And it'll be Jawan Tot to bring it across the timeline. Baseline. Tot gets it back. Pump fakes, gets it underneath. Layup will go, and the foul for Cameron Corrin.
What a great pass by Jawan Tot. That was beautiful. Or, I'm sorry, by Jawan Tot, number 4. Man, Mike, did you notice they sit down Nate Dominic and they bring in Cameron Cohern, and I think he's taller and maybe more athletic than Dominic is.
Corrin
nice
at 6'8".
Yeah.
Back the other way, though, comes Brian Armstrong for the answer. He's got 3 in the early going. Jalen Tot tripped up, foul.
Back to Cameron Cohern. He's 6'8" and only a sophomore.
Yeah.
Goodness.
16 starts this year, a kid that they really like and is definitely a big part of their future. He saw some run yesterday and seeing some extended minutes here in the second quarter. And with the injury to Donovan Johnson, you wonder if he'll see a little more time.
Yeah, he may play a lot today.
Tyson, pull-up 3 in his eye. Second 3 of the day for Tyson. He's got 9. Ramos, as a buzzer sounded, no stoppage. Now they will stop it. Jackson McKissick, Henry Lewis, the other 2 officials out there with Talasis, our crew chief, as they confer with the scorer's table to try and figure out where the errant buzzer sound came from.
Yeah, this is when you feel like the only person in the game when you're on the clock. You know, it's like everybody's looking at me. Oh my goodness.
Scoreboard should read 17-7. At the moment, it reads 14-7. Our scoreboard here on Taps TV, of course, has it at 17, but the in-house scoreboard reads 14-7.
I think that's probably what she was trying to sort out, and somehow the buzzer was sounded instead of a score being edited as it should be.
Our man Will Dixon pushing all the buttons on the broadcast here and has everything settled. Now we've lost the scoreboard in-house.
And we have the half-court scoreboard back. We're having a scoreboard bonanza.
Meanwhile, an opportunity here to kind of discuss what we've seen through the first quarter and change. A very nice start from Jalen Tyson. He's got 9 points in the early going, 2 3-point buckets bookending JP2 scoring thus far, and also a bucket plus the foul midway through the first quarter. His 9 points leading the way for John Paul II as they've opened up a 10-point lead here.
Yeah, we just got some word that the clock froze and she couldn't put anything up. So we continue to have a clock bonanza, as I said earlier. We've had all kind of clock issues both at Robinson yesterday and here today. We've had the clock do fireworks for us when someone won the game, and it's been quite interesting. But hey, what a great facility West has. We're thankful to be here.
No doubt.
This is a perfect venue for TAPS games.
You were at Robinson yesterday calling the 1A, 3A, and 5A state semifinals. I was over at University High School calling 2A, 4A, and 6A state semifinals. And at University, we had some clock issues Thursday and Friday for the 6 girls semis that were University High, and on Friday for the boys semis at University High. But if we're being frank here, those clock issues were operator error, not the scoreboard itself.
Yeah. I was going to say maybe there's something in the electrical wires down here in the Waco area. All right, here we go.
7:22 to play as we get back to work. 17-7 the scoreboard does accurately read now. As Ramos pounds top of the key. They backed away from him a moment. He nearly pulled the 3. Instead they get it down low, and a block inside for Cameron Corrin. A minute gone by, second quarter, and Jawan Tott handles top of the key. His team with a 10-point lead in the 6A title game. Jalen Tott now gets it back off the handoff, fires a 3, misses to the right. Ramos thought about firing it up ahead for Nate Dominic. Instead, pull up, jumper misses for Armstrong.
Yeah, one of the things that, one of the adjustments that John Paul II has made here for the transition is putting immediate pressure on the ball as soon as the rebound's made so that the rest of the team can get back. It's a nice adjustment they made.
Foul on Corrin, keeps it on this end. Ramos has not been able to get going just yet. Now he draws the foul as Jawan Tott was a little too aggressive with the defense 45 feet from the hoop. And that is already 17 fouls against JP2. So Ramos to the free throw line to shoot 1 and 1.
And I'm going to bet he makes them both, and you can't guard him while he's standing there. That's the bad part. So the rest of this quarter, they won't be able to guard the free throw. This might be how San Antonio gets back in the game.
First one goes for Ramos.
Man, he's got a pretty shot.
He's now got 3 points on the day. He had the first 2 points of the evening for Antonian Prep. Those came on the inbound pass. 2 for 2 at the free throw line, and a shooter like Ramos, seeing 2 free throws go down could be dangerous. Drop step and a foul on the floor as Zambi tried to work.
Yeah, I don't know if the fans saw that, but Zambi sprinted down the floor ahead the ball and posted right up there at on the block, and brought the ball right down and got it into him. It's a beautiful 2-man game on the right side of the offense here.
Tott to key it in. fadeaway three-pointer in the corner, misses badly, and a very clear over the back on Zambi.
Get a saddle and saddle him up. That was very clearly an over the back.
I mean, he was riding him.
Yeah. But hey, you know what? That's a good box out. That's the way a box out ought to look.
And it leads to a 1-and-1 for Brian Armstrong. This is a long time to be in the bonus. First one rattles off, though.
Tot calling for the screen roll up high here.
Tot to Tot. Jalen into the lane, draws the foul.
And that'll be on Ramos.
Sixth foul of the half against Antonian, only the first, though, on Ramos.
When I saw JP2 play last Saturday or Saturday before, I don't remember what exactly, I guess it was last Saturday, I thought the two Tot guys were maybe their best players outside of Jalen Tyson. I was really impressed with their play.
Jalen Tot averages 12 a game. The game that you saw a week ago, the regional final, Jalen Tot had 21.
Yeah, he was really had a great shooting night, obviously. Really like his stroke, as I said earlier. All right, here we go, a little defense.
His two free throws make it a 10-point lead once again for JP2. Ramos, step back three, contested, no foul call. He wanted one, doesn't get it, and here comes Tot. In transition, high off the glass. Back the other way. Layup goes for Armstrong.
Well, this is a physical game and a quick game. Both teams getting the ball up the floor really fast.
Jawan Tot, shadowed by Ochoa. As we approach 3 minutes into the second quarter of the 6A championship game. Jalen Tot, baseline, kicks for his brother in the corner, three on the way, misses short. Rebound down to Devin Grant. Grant had 25 in the semifinal. Today has not been able to get on the offensive scoreboard just yet. Right wing for Chance Felix just into the basketball game.
Just a nice job by San Antonio to settle down out of that rush up the floor and get something going offensively.
Handoff for Felix. Ochoa, the freshman, plays for the 15 and under team for the Mexican national team. That's how talented that freshman is. Ramos can't finish. It'll stay on this end, though, as the rebound is lost out of bounds by Nate Dominic.
Let's hope that John Paul's got the lane covered on this end. Oh, my goodness.
Right into Grant, spinning around the defense, can't finish. Left it short off the glass, and here comes Zambi. In the corner, Jalen Tot for three. Wide open, but couldn't hit. Grant with a strong rebound and gets it out to Felix. Grant going to work. Lost it, gets it back. They're going to say double dribble.
I didn't see that.
Neither did I.
I still like what John Paul is doing. As soon as San Antonio pulls the rebound, they got a man there or they're trapping it, and that allows the rest of the team to get back, which takes away the fast break opportunity for San Antonio.
Tot down the lane, rims out. I don't know how that one didn't stay in the tin.
It was a heck of a move.
But all the way around the cylinder and out. And here comes Antonian again. Armstrong into the lane. Nice feed for Grant. Blew the layup. And a foul underneath. was going to go against Grant, a frustration foul. I beg your pardon. They're going to send him to the free throw line. That was why he was pointing at 14. The foul goes against JP2.
Well, I wish I had a telestrator, but I'll try to explain it. On that play, as the penetration occurred, the help stepped to the penetration, and there was no rotation down to the baseline to help the helper, and that's how number 14 for San Antonio, Devin Grant, got the ball there at the basket. You got to help the helper on your defensive rotations.
Meanwhile, the two coaches both working the officials. Dan Lee trying to say it should be 1-1. Rudy Bernal saying no, it was a shooting foul. It looks like Dan Lee has won the battle, and it will be a 1-1 opportunity for Devin Grant. And it rims off. Coaching matters.
Yeah.
Dominic picked up his dribble, in some trouble here. Able to pass out of it and find Tyson. 10-point lead for JP2. Tyson trying to add to it. Lost it out of bounds. He knocked it out. It's Antonian basketball. There was some contact in there. Could have been a whistle.
I thought there'd be a whistle. There was a lot of contact. Yeah, you talk about coaching counts. I've always found my conversations with officials to lend me not.
Ochoa takes it back now from Grant. Armstrong in the high post. Behind the back dribble, 16-footer, yes sir.
I'll tell you what, there's a 15, 14, and let's see what we got. Number 1 for San Antonio are men, full-grown men.
Armstrong, Grant, and Felix, the three you're talking about, and all three of them, to your point.
I'm sure they play football. I can't imagine they don't.
If they don't, they should.
If they don't, they should. You're right. They caught Chance Felix there on the foul, guarding Jalen Tyson.
That's going to send Tyson to the free throw line. Misses the front end of the 1-1.
Yeah.
Ochoa, head of steam, down the lane, high in the air, and it falls. A freshman with that kind of touch.
That's amazing. What's more amazing is that he was a charge waiting to happen, and they didn't take it.
Dominic with the answer. $1:50 to play first half, 23-15. JP2 with the lead over the defending state champions in 6A, Antonian Prep. Grant lost it, traveled with it. That looked like a painful travel.
I'll tell you what, I was worried about him getting up.
A little bit of a limp as he does make his way back down floor.
Yeah, he's coming out right now. I don't think Coach liked that play.
Slow to make his way off. $1:39 here in the half, so he'll get an extended halftime.
I want you to look at this. So look at Jalen Tyson being guarded by Chance Felix. All they need to do is post him up on the block.
5'9", Chance Felix. 6'6", Jalen Tyson.
Sounds like my college career. Oh, goodness.
But Tyson, not a post player. Despite his size, he plays a guard's game. The layup is missed by Tot. Loose ball. Antonian has it, and they'll slow it down with Armstrong. Final 65 seconds of the half. They trail by 8, 23-15.
I'm watching Coach Lee's body language over there. He is not happy with the missed opportunities around the basket, as no coach would be.
Ramos on the bench, so Ochoa, their offensive initiator, and he draws the foul as he gets to the hoop.
Yeah, sometimes players get too involved officiating the game, they forget they're supposed to play. Just an observation.
Ochoa will shoot 2. friendly roll.
And he had a smile on his face when he turned around to give his teammate a little 5 there.
Second one rattles off, though.
I'll tell you what, the last game and this game, we have not seen a free throw exhibition, that's for sure.
Certainly not the last game.
Yeah, certainly not the last game.
Jawan Tott with 37 and a half, high off the glass.
Golly. That was just an incredible attack of the basket. I don't know how he kept control of his body. He was going so fast.
22 to play as Armstrong handles on the right wing. Crossover into the lane. Lefty layup. Creative. And the finger roll goes.
But this gives John Paul a chance to go down and score.
5 seconds to play up top. Tott for 3. Yes, sir. Before the buzzer. And the lead is 10. Jawan Tott with the triple.
So I just want to hop in here and say if San Antonio would have played for the last shot, that basket wouldn't have happened. Somebody out there for the San Antonio team has got to get organized as a player. Don't worry about the coach. You're a player. You see the clock right in front of you. Get your team set and go for one. Surely I know they practice that. They have to. And so that's a three-pointer should have never happened.
Instead, it does. The 3 from Tott makes it a 10-point game at the break. The defending champs in a hole coming out of halftime. We'll have the second half of the 6A state championship after this on TAPS TV. We welcome you back to West Texas. The 6A state championship game. TAPS boys basketball. Number 1, John Paul II. The 39-1 Cardinals on a 31-game win streak, trying to make it 32 and claim the school's first ever state championship. They lead number 4 Antonian Prep, the defending 6A state champs, by 10 as we start quarter number 3. And it's the Apaches with the ball to start the third quarter. Ochoa, backdoor look, now on the baseline for Ramos. Their leading scorer with just 4 in the first half. Averages 23 a game, had 33 yesterday, held in check thus far. Grant into the lane. And a big shoulder into the chest of Tot, and it's an offensive foul from Freddie Amaro.
If I remember correctly, when I saw John Paul play last Saturday, Todd had a couple of charges in that game. I love the guy who takes the charge.
That's 2 in the game on Amaro. 9 points from Brian Armstrong to lead the way today for Antonian Prep. 9 points from Jalen Tyson to lead the way for JP2. Put back, short. And here comes Ramos. Head of steam down the lane. Can't finish, but a foul will go against Dominic.
Had 2 good opportunities at the rim, did John Paul, but couldn't connect.
Some potential for foul trouble for JP2. 2 fouls in the first half on Jawan Tot, 2 on Donovan Johnson, 2 on Jalen Tyson, 2 on Cameron Corrin. Ramos misses the first free throw. But hits the second. Jalen Tot, the second leading scorer for JP2 in the first half with 7 points. Gives for Donovan Johnson back in the game after the first half injury. Misses short, does Tyson, but a foul.
Well, I talked in the first half about posting Jalen Tyson up, and they ran a little 2-man game there from the top of the key with Dominic passing it down into Tyson, posted up, and look how well it worked.
Tyson's first free throw falls, lead back to 10. He's now got 10 on the day.
Beautiful stroke. I like his shot form.
30-19, the lead swells to 11. And now a turnover, nearly saved back in bounds, but it's JP2 basketball as Grant couldn't get it to a teammate.
Yeah, and that initial trap really rattled Antonian and resulted in the turnover.
Don't turn the ball over. That is what Rudy Bernal said to me before the game. That was one of the most important things they needed to do today. They've struggled a little bit with that, and another one right there. Dominic can't finish. Rebound pulled down by Armstrong, and he'll look to run. Baseline spinning is Amaro, kicks it out. Grant has it blocked. Tyson up ahead. Jalen Tot lays it in, and the foul.
Yep. That's going to be a block every time. He was almost out of bounds when he took the contact. Jalen Tot is a really fine player. Great body control. He gets that up there, takes the contact, finishes the play. Really nicely done.
Foul goes against Freddie Amaro, and that's now 3 on the sophomore forward.
Into the game for the Apaches, number 10, Warfield.
Warfield checks in as Amaro takes a seat on the end of the Antonian bench.
Coach told him to go get some water.
And the lead is 14 after the and one. Largest lead we've seen today. Ochoa. They're going to say he came back in bounds and fielded the basketball. Rudy Bernal trying to argue against it, that he had reestablished position on the court of play. The officials say no, and it's a turnover.
I agree with the call. I think it was the right call, but I'm sure the Antonian fans would disagree with me, as do the coaching staff and players.
Meanwhile, this is dangerous territory for Antonian, down 14, and JP2 trying to add to it. Johnson kicks in the corner. Tot for three. Just long. Ramos yet to get going today. Can he change that here? And a block. Very close call. Jalen Tot thought he had stepped in there to draw the charge, and a big smile to the official as he walks back up floor.
I have to disagree with that call. I think he earned that one for sure, but Ramos gets to go to the line.
Ramos for 2 shots. They have got to get him going.
Yeah, it's pretty tough for other guys to pick up the 23 he usually scores if he doesn't get his 23.
2 for 2. Lead back down to a dozen at 33-21. Jalen Tot off the screen from Johnson. Tried to find him underneath and couldn't.
And missed the roll. He was open on the roll and he just missed him.
Warfield just barely able to scramble back fast enough to deny it. Now it's off the foot of Tot, loose on the deck, and a timeout wisely called by Nate Dominic as he dove on the deck to grab the basketball.
What a fantastic play by Nate Dominic. Diving out of nowhere, he got to that ball, and then headsy play calling the timeout. What a great job by Nate Dominic.
This will come as no surprise to you, a coach, and probably to our audience either. Nate Dominic's a senior.
Yes.
That's a veteran play.
That's right. That's a veteran play. It's also a selfless play.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of guys willing to do that. I used to like to do the loose ball drill in practice just to see who the guys were that would put their body on the line for the team. And it's interesting. Some of the players you think would be willing to do that, they don't like that at all.
Yeah.
That was a great play. I bet he plays football. I don't know. I bet he does. Maybe not.
Truthfully, I'm not sure. I do know that he signed with Claremont McKenna, a D3 school, to go play some basketball in college.
Yep.
And they'll appreciate that kind of effort for sure.
Yeah, he'll do well at D3.
Dominic dribbles out of trouble as the Cardinals lead by a dozen here in the 6A state championship game. The number 1 team in the state on a 31-game winning streak. Dominic to Tot in the corner.
There's no reason for John Paul to hurry. They may as well just keep doing this. Just run offense and get something good. Sooner or later, Antonian will probably get tired of chasing them around.
And now a foul away from the basketball. Foul will go against Brian Armstrong. Baseline inbound for JP2.
I noticed on that possession they were trying to get Tyson in the post since he's being guarded by Chance Felix, but they weren't successful. I admire Chance Felix for even taking on the task.
He's just 5'9", guarding the 6'6", college-bound junior. D1 offers all over the map.
Yeah.
Felix called for the foul.
You can't put 2 hands on the guy. They'll let you have a 1 hand once in a while, but not 2 hands.
Tyson has D1 offers from TCU, Oklahoma, Texas Tech, several other schools at the very least showing interest. Florida, Kansas, LSU, University of Texas. He's been the engine for the number 1 team in the state, JP2, all season long. And now another foul, and again it's going to go against Felix. He's got 3 now. Felix trying to amp up the pressure, create some havoc here for JP2.
Yeah, he's trying. He's doing his best.
But he's been a little bit too much on these last two foul calls. Now an offensive foul. It's going to be a moving screen on Jawan Todd as Tyson tried to curl off him.
Interesting. A couple of possessions. This thing happened so fast, but a couple of possessions ago, I don't know how many folks noticed Donovan Johnson was the pressure release there. Really smart play by him to pop up for the sideline inbounds.
Yeah.
That was really nicely done.
Ramos into the lane. Maybe that'll get him going as he cuts the lead to 10.
That was a great move. Nice left hand.
Loose in the lane. Johnson somehow grabbed it, and now a foul. Johnson in amongst 4 Antonian defenders. Nate Dominic, beg your pardon, Khalil Warfield called for the foul.
They're now in the 1-and-1, so
3:14 to play in the
Nice.
third quarter.
this is going to take a while.
The scheduled tip time for the 3A state championship in this gym is 8 o'clock. I can tell you right now,
That ain't going to happen.
take a nap, fellas. It's going to be a little later. Johnson, 1-and-1. Rattles off. Tyson with the rebound, and he gets called for the foul. A push underneath as he battled with Ramos for the rebound.
Boy, as you said earlier, the foul trouble is mounting for both teams.
Gavino Ramos with the only points in the second half for Antonian. He had 4 at the break. He's got 9 now, and a block underneath, but a foul.
My goodness. That was a fantastic block. Oh, my goodness. Nate Dominic had all ball there, no doubt about it. I know the officials have done a great job, but that's, my goodness, that was a block. What great hustle by Dominic to get back and block that shot.
The foul sends Armstrong to the free throw line and sends the JP2 fans into a tizzy.
Yes. I was in a tizzy. But give Armstrong credit, he's making it count. Made both free throws.
Lead down to 8. Closest we've seen it here in the second half. Antonian could use another stop here. Tyson down the lane. Short-armed it just a bit. Felix up ahead for Ramos. And he finishes.
Might be good to take a timeout, Coach Lee. Might be good to take a timeout.
His team's lead trimmed to 6. It's been as large as 14, but now an 8-0 run from Antonian. And the student section for the Apaches at a fever pitch. 2:15 to play in the third. Tot, high off the glass, it won't go. The rebound to Dominic, short-armed it. Another offensive board. Tot can't finish. Tons of contact inside, and a foul now will be called on Ochoa.
Jalen Todd took the rebound right away from Nate Dominic, his own teammate. So fast and furious, they didn't have time to communicate. Now it looks like Dominic's going to get free throws here. Should be 1-and-1 still.
The 6'5 senior trying to end this run. First one goes.
He hit every part of the rim, but it went.
That, at least for the moment, stops the bleeding. He hits them both. 35-27. It was an 8-0 Antonian run, and now Dominic will check out. Alex Zambi back into the basketball game. Ramos up the sideline, draws the foul on Jawan Tott. And that, I believe, is 3 on Tott.
Yeah. He's going to have to sub for Tott. He's got to get him out of there.
And they will. Onto the floor comes Matt Lehman.
Yeah,
I have not seen Lehman take this. Is the second time I'm seeing JP2 play in 2 days, and I don't recall seeing Matt Lehman take the floor.
When I saw him play, he played for about 1 minute in the first half, and I can't tell much by that.
A big spot for the senior guard trying to guard Ochoa. Felix back to Ochoa. Nice hesitation, but he can't finish. He made the adjustment in midair, but he misses the layup short, and it stays an 8-point game. Tyson up top for Tott. Rudy Bernal calling for a double dribble. Tyson, pull up 3. All boards.
With the defense right on him. What a shot.
Timeout on the floor.
I will say this, when you have players like that, it makes coaching easy.
14 on the day now for the leading scorer for John Paul II and Jalen Tyson. Just like that, the lead's back to 11. Antonian had it as close as 6 moments ago. The free throws prior to the three-pointer from Tyson coming courtesy of Nate Dominic. And a quick 5-0 spurt, and JP2 has reestablished control.
I like Nate Dominic has really given the Cardinals some real effort, getting in there and rebounding the ball, getting offensive rebounds. He was the young man that got on the floor over here right near our table, and I just love the guys that do all the dirty work.
Yeah.
You know, the stuff that they're not going to get written about in the paper except how many points they score, and he may score, he may not. He averages 12 points a game, or so. But man, it's the other things he does that's so important to the team.
Yeah. Out of the timeout, it'll be Antonian basketball.
One thing for Matt Lehman for the Cardinals, he is a senior, so he's seen a little bit of action. I don't know how much, but a little bit.
You wonder, though, can Antonian try and capitalize on his presence on the floor? And what a block. Donovan Johnson. It stays with Antonian, though. Ochoa has it blocked by Johnson again. Now they throw it away, though, right into the waiting arms of Khalil Warfield.
Yep. Eyes got a little too big there.
And that'll be an offensive foul. What a defensive sequence from Donovan Johnson.
Yeah, I don't agree with that, but hey, give him credit for 2 blocks and taking a charge. I think he probably should have been called for a block, but that's all right. The guy's working his tail off right now.
Hurt earlier in the game, back on the floor here in the second half and making a huge impact on the defensive end.
Pretty much unfazed, wouldn't you say?
I'd say so. Rudy Bernal, meanwhile, disagreed with the call, I think even more than you did, kind of gave a whatever, threw both arms at the official. Tyson, nice idea, miscommunication between he and Johnson, and it's a turnover.
Let me just tell you this, when you're a guard handling the ball and you try to make a 3-foot pass to a big man, it ain't happening. It's just not a very good pass. They're not used to handling the ball in that close to quarters.
Final 30 seconds of quarter number 3. And Ramos needs to find something here. Lost it out of bounds, last touched by JP2. 19.9 to play for a third quarter.
That was a real nice deflection by Jalen to get that ball out of bounds, out of Ramos's control.
Eric Talasis settling things down, communicating with the players, and
I like it.
Making sure the game stays in check. Now the baseline inbound. Ochoa up top for Ramos. He's had a nice third quarter. He could use a few more. Step back 3. Draws the foul. And it's the senior Lehman in a spot he's not accustomed to be in, who commits the foul.
Yeah, I'm not sure that was a foul. I think there was a little bit of a flop there, but I mean, Lehman did a good job contesting the shot, and if he fouled him, he fouled him. But yeah, that's the way it goes sometimes.
First one goes for Ramos.
Ramos will hit all three, the old-fashioned way. He's got such a pretty shot, man.
He's now got a dozen on the day, 8 of them here in the third quarter.
Yeah, it looks like Coach Bernal is going to make some interesting substitutions here. These are 2 guys that haven't played in the game yet.
Second one will go as well.
Looks like number 30, Michael Frey, and 23, Dante Okapala. Interesting. 12 seconds, I guess.
2 guys that don't play much, perhaps just trying to avoid a foul on an important player late here in the third quarter.
Yeah, that's a good move.
Third free throw, good as well. Lead down to 8. He's now got 14 on the day, 10 in the third quarter. Final 7 seconds of the third. Tyson down the lane. Yes, sir. And a strong finish to quarter number 3 for Jalen Tyson. The lead is 10. He's got 16 on the night. And JP2 in control as we head to the fourth.
Rogers.
Aiden loves playing baseball. He's in his element when he picks up a baseball bat.
When Aiden tore his ACL last year, we were all devastated. We didn't think that a 13-year-old could have a problem such as that.
Children's Health Andrews Institute for Orthopedic.
Oh, she's done.
Back at West High School, 3 quarters in the books in the 6A state championship game. A 10-point lead for John Paul II. As a head coach, what do you say to your Antonian team if you're leading them in this basketball game to try and get something going here in the fourth?
Well, they got to get some stops, first of all. And that look at number 1 here trying to deny the inbounds pass. He might get a 5-second count.
Instead of foul.
Instead he got a foul.
Chance Felix called for the foul.
Yeah,
that is 10 in the half. Double bonus, 2 free throws.
They've got to get some stops, and Ramos has got to get going. They got to do something, set a high screen roll for him, something so he can get loose, because
he had 10 there in that third quarter, but they need a fourth quarter much the same from him.
Yeah, absolutely.
If not more than that.
And, you know, they got those 2 thick bodies in 10 and 15. If they could get up there and set some high screens for him and get him loose at the perimeter where he might get a 3-point off, I guarantee he can shoot that. And I'm sure they've worked on it. Now JP2 comes out of their pressure, going into a 2-3 zone.
1 for 2 at the free throw line for Jalen Tott, so the lead's 11. Way out. Over top of everything but a long rebound down to Felix. 14-footer, high off the glass, no good.
Players out there, anytime an opponent shoots a 3-pointer and it misses, it's usually going to be a long rebound.
Yeah.
So perimeter box outs are very important. If you're
long shot, long rebound. Tott hard to the tin, can't finish. Johnson battling for the rebound off the leg of Ramos. It'll stay here. It's inviting for Ramos if JP2 is going to set up in his zone to shoot over top of it. He wasn't able to hit the last one, but that may be a smart strategy. This is a steal here as Armstrong with the interception and the lay-in.
That was a poorly executed baseline out of bounds play. They got to do better than that.
Armstrong has been very good tonight for Antonian. kind of filling the role that Devin Grant played a day ago in the semifinal. Tyson through the chest of Felix, no call, and he hits.
I like Tyson's position. He gets down in a nice athletic stance on his move so that he's got power to go up for his shot. Makes the shot, the top of the shot, easy because his legs are in it.
18 on the night for Tyson. Center of the lane, and he lost it. The steal by Zambi. Up ahead, Tot. The pass too strong. Saved though.
Look at that.
What a play on the deck from Zambi. Rather, it was Tyson who saved it back in bounds. After all of that, it's knocked out of bounds by JP2, but that gave an opportunity for Lehman there for a moment. He wasn't able to convert, but what an effort from Jalen Tyson.
But, Mike, here's their number one player diving on the floor to save the ball back in bounds. That's awesome.
Ochoa to Armstrong in the lane, high in the air and down. Really nice night from Brian Armstrong. Lead stands at 9, though. Under 6 to play in the fourth quarter. Nearly lost, but Todd able to re-corral. Now to Johnson at the elbow. Can't get the roll. Tip-in won't go either. And Antonian down with the rebound. Up ahead for Armstrong. And a foul.
I just have to say that sometimes, just as a human, as an official, they anticipate calls.
I apologize, I didn't hear what you said there because I wanted to hear the announcement here in-house. That is the 4th personal foul on Jalen Tyson. Yeah, that is huge.
That is huge. And he's bringing Jawan Tot back in with his 4 fouls. Yeah, what I said earlier, I said, as a human seeing the game fast, an official sometimes I think has a tendency to anticipate a call.
Yeah.
When it may not have been. I'm not sure there was a foul there, but that was what was called, and they're calling a very fast game, and they're calling a good game, all said and done.
Lead down to 7 after the 2 free throws from Armstrong. He's got all 6 points in the fourth quarter for Antonian. Jalen Tot, hounded by Ochoa. Can't finish. Johnson with the offensive board and the putback.
He did a little show shot there, got everybody up, then went back up through him. That was beautiful.
5 minutes to play, fourth quarter. Lead back to 9 for JP2. 31 wins in a row for the Cardinals. Looking for 32 in a championship. Ramos, hesitation in the lane, good finish.
A nice little double dip there to get the shot off. What a nice little shot, nice little move.
He's got 16 on the night. Lead back down to 7, but Antonian has to get a stop, try and get back in touch.
And they can't let a lot of time come off the clock here either because they got to have the stops in time to score. And looks like JP2 is going to be happy to run some offense, which I would do if I was them.
40 feet from the basket, it's Jalen Tot. Now into the lane, has it tipped. Johnson lost it, and a foul.
Yeah, I just have to tell you, that was going to be a dunk.
He kind of lost his balance on his way in. Yeah. I don't know if he was tripped and that's why he lost his balance.
Yeah, he was tripped and lost his balance, but I'm telling you, if he wouldn't have been tripped, that was going to be a thunder dunk.
Instead of the free throw line for 2, back iron.
How many free throws have we seen today that could just kind of ice the game a little bit, and they just can't seem to convert them today?
Second rim's out as well. That's as good as a stop for Antonian.
Absolutely it is, and the clock wasn't running.
4:04 to play as Ochoa takes the bounce from Ramos. Off the screen. Corner. Thought about a 3, then took it and buries it. Ramos cuts the lead to 4.
Yeah, Ramos paused on that shot, and then he was contested and still made it.
Antonian back within 4. 3:37 to play. Tyson hounded by Felix. Fade away, short. And a foul on the rebound. Free throws for Antonian.
Yeah, and how is John Paul going to react having not been in this situation for some 31 games? How they respond is going to be very important to whether they'll be the state champs or not.
A day ago, they played a tight one, but they were in control in the second half with Midland Christian, winning 65-57. Here, 1-1. First one falls for Brian Armstrong.
The tiptoe free throw.
It was. What a night for Armstrong. Second goes, lead down to 2. A little shadow pressure from Ochoa forces the ball to Jalen Tott, and he'll start the offense. JP2 still with the lead, but it's down to 2. 3:15 to play. Jawan Tott, baseline, lost it, and a foul.
That's a good attack at the basket, but now he's got to make the free throws. And this is also good for Antonian because the clock is not running.
If I'm being honest, that felt kind of like a bailout. He was a little out of control, losing possession of the ball anyway. Todd hits the first.
Probably in a collegiate game, that would have been a no call.
Yeah.
Boy, this place is deafening, isn't it? Holy cow, these fans are really into it. That's awesome.
That free throw from Tott, and the second goes as well. Ends what was a 7-0 run to cut the lead to 2. It's back to 4 as Ramos, the junior, already a 2,000-point scorer in his career. 19 tonight. He needs a bit more. Cross court. 3 on the way. Short. Tipped out of bounds. It will go down with JP2. I thought that was off the Cardinals, but it's not.
I think Ramos got it, but he could have been called over the back, and they didn't catch it.
He could have, yes.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's another, we were talking about it, I believe, in the previous game, refereeing advantage, disadvantage. Yep. Don't give a foul there when all you got to do is just give possession to JP2 and keep the best players on the floor.
Right.
Smart officiating.
Yes.
Dominic, down the lane.
The Euro step +1.
The Antonian fans wanted to travel. He missed it, though, and back the other way, drawing the foul, and 1. Brian Armstrong to the line. He can cut it to 1 with the free throw.
You can't take the charge when you're under the basket. We got a game here, Mike.
Yes, we do. He's got 19 now on the night. If he can make it 20, it's a 1-point game. And it is. What a performance from Brian Armstrong, the junior forward for Antonian.
I was surprised a couple of possessions ago that he took the three-point shot, because what he's done most of the night is attack the basket on the dribble. So
2 1/4 to play in the fourth.
Yeah.
Tot to Tot up top. And it's Jalen.
You better watch getting his arm out there. He'd get called for an offensive foul here.
Guarded by Ramos. He gets around him to the 10. Can't finish, but the putback for Johnson.
I'll tell you what, they got to box. If they want to have a chance, they got to box out and keep Donovan Johnson off the boards. Goodness.
100 seconds to play in the 6A state championship game. Timeout, Rudy Bernal. A full timeout.
Yeah, good timeout.
The atmosphere here at West High School is off the charts.
Yep. Absolutely incredible. This is the way high school basketball ought to be. Who says Indiana has the corner on high school basketball?
I'll tell you this much. One thing is abundantly clear is I've had the good fortune to spend 5 years here in the state of Texas now covering high school sports. High school football in Texas is obviously built up to be this romanticized, and it's deserved. It is outstanding in this state. The high school basketball that is played in the state of Texas is just as good in terms of the talent that is sent to the collegiate level out of the Dallas area, out of the Houston area, out of West Texas. There is talent all over this state. And we're seeing a little bit of on the floor right now in the 6A TAP State Championship game. As out of the timeout, it's Antonian. Felix gives it up top for Ochoa. They trail by 3. What does Rudy Bernal have for his Antonian prep squad?
I think he's wanting to get Ramos a shot.
He fires for 3. That would have tied it and misses. And a rebound down to JP2. One minute to play. 3-point lead for JP2. Jawan Tott. Guarded by Ochoa. Trying to eat clock.
So here's
already
the question.
20 seconds off the clock.
Who are they going to foul?
Nobody yet.
Yeah, well, I mean, they got to decide who they're going to foul here. Look at this. Beautiful. Look at this.
Finally, the foul given by Ochoa.
Holy cow, they took 30 seconds, almost, was it, am I wrong?
I think it's 40.
40
I think a
seconds?
40 full second possession for JP2 before the foul is finally given.
What was really key there is how quickly well, first of all, Jawan Tott was incredible handling the ball, but then secondly, the quick release of to catch the pass and get rid of it.
But importantly here, the first free throw missed by Jalen Tott.
Yeah, this can make a 2-possession game still, but
26.3 to play.
Oh my
misses
goodness
both.
gracious.
Everything still on the table for Antonian. Ramos. Down the lane. Offensive foul.
Yep.
Nate Dominic with a scream into the student section from JP2. And with 16.7 to play, a timeout on the floor.
They're going to love Donovan. They're going to love Nate Dominic at Claremont McKenna, I tell you. He might start as a freshman. I don't know anything about the Claremont McKenna program, but as well as he's played here tonight, I think he could probably displace anybody on their team in the position he would play because he's done a great job. How many charges have we had? 5? 3 for
it's
3 on 1?
Quite a few.
I think it's, yeah. You know, last night in the 5A game, we had four charges for each team.
Wow.
8 charges in the game. When I was coaching, I used to write 3 on the board, 3 CH. That was our goal, to try to get 3 charges every game.
Yeah.
Didn't work out that way most of the time, but hey, at least it was on the board as a goal.
Yep.
And we did take the charge drill at least once a week. We always had spectators for that one.
Yeah. 16.7 seconds to play here at West High School. A 3-point lead for number 1, John Paul II. The Cardinals in the state championship game on the strength of an 83-48 area round win over Trinity Christian Addison. 52-49, they knocked off the defending champs Bishop Lynch in the regional final. 65-57 over Midland Christian in the semifinals.
Yeah, I knew that
and now
was
here
happen.
with the lead in the championship game. Stripped away, though. It'll stay on this end. A lot of contact as Tott tried to go up with it off the baseball pass. And now he's down on the deck.
That was a foul. Lord of mercy, that was a foul. I knew that was going to happen. I knew Dan Lee, I should have said something. I knew Dan Lee was going to come out with a 4 across.
Yeah.
And Antonian was probably going to sell out and not have anybody back, which meant they would have the long pass on the run out. And that's exactly what happened.
It's going to be a baseline inbound instead of a foul. JP2 with possession still, 14.2 to play.
I hope Jalen doesn't have a concussion because he went right down on his forehead. The officials want him to come out.
It seems that way. Top trying to argue his case, and it looks like they're going to let him stay in the basketball game.
But here's the key. No one came on the floor to look at him off the sideline. So, in essence, he never had anyone come check him. So, well, that was a nice job by Antonian there denying that inbounds pass.
Jawan Todd forced to call timeout.
Yeah, and you know what? Now I guarantee you Dan Lee's going to come up with a great inbounds play. He's a very crafty coach. I know because I had to pay dearly for it a few times.
Lead stands at 3. Both teams in the double bonus. Possession arrow, importantly, favors Antonian. So if they could get a tie-up, they could steal possession back here.
Yes.
They need to find some way to get the ball back without allowing JP2 to put any more points on the board. Any free throws would create a 2-possession game. With 14.2, that wouldn't necessarily end it, but it would make things real difficult for the Apaches.
Well, what would be ideal for Antonian is if they could get a 5-second count and just get the ball back that way, because then the clock hasn't run, and now they've got 14 seconds to work with. I think Coach Bernal has another timeout left, so he could use a timeout if they could get the 5-second count. For sure what they have to do is foul right away if the ball gets in.
It'll be Jawan Tant, the senior guard, to throw it inbounds for JP2. Guarded by Ochoa. And another timeout call. And Dan Lee looking at Jalen Tyson saying, I told you to do this.
Yeah. Well, sometimes our messages as coaches to players kind of get interrupted somewhere between the distance between us and the player,
Yep.
But, one of the things in this situation, you can throw the ball into the backcourt and it's not over and back. And a lot of coaches, sometimes we forget we can do that as a strategy. From the baseline, you can throw it into the backcourt. And they could have done that there easily to Tyson, and they would have had the ball in bounds very easily and could have run out the clock, I think. Well, let's see what they do this time.
JP2 still clinging to this 3-point lead.
Yeah. Antonian again did a great job denying the inbounds pass, so let's see if they can do it one more time.
Twice they've forced a timeout from Jawan Tot. Now they get an inbounds to Dominic. Trying to tie him up. And a foul.
They lost 3 seconds there, probably on the slow whistle.
Ramos was trying hard to grasp possession and create a tie-up.
Yeah, he was doing the right thing.
Oh, absolutely. That's your first option in that situation.
Absolutely.
It looked like for a second he had it, but probably not long enough to create the jump ball call. Dominic hits the free throw. 2-possession game.
2-possession game. This one will do it unless a miracle happens.
11.9 to play.
And
2 for 2.
JP2 does not want to foul the jump shooter.
Ramos running the floor, fires for 3, short. Ochoa with 5 seconds to play. Fouled, 3.9 left.
Get out of the popcorn machine and stay on the floor. Goodness gracious alive. 2 guys swinging away up there fouling when all they had to do is just stay down and collect the rebound, and the game is over.
One of the funnier chants I've seen from a student section this week, the Antonian crowd, their student section pointing at Eric Talasis, the crew chief, and chanting MVP.
Yep. Yeah, well, the officiating has not been that bad.
No, I would agree. I don't think that it's been bad either. But
that's fans.
If you're an Antonian fan, obviously you've got a different opinion, and for good reason. It's part of the passion of being a fan.
Absolutely. Yeah,
3.9 left. I mean, at this point, they need a miracle.
If I was Rudy Bernal, I might be questioning a little bit of the officiating.
Sure.
It's just, that's typical of the way a game goes.
Ochoa with 2. Hits the first. First one goes 51-47. Second one rattles home as well. Lead back down to 3. 3.9 to play. Timeout Antonian.
Now really all that JP2 has to do is get the ball in bounds and hold it, and I'm sure Antonian will foul. So they'll get a foul shot. The other thing, if they set this 4 across up again, you watch, they're going to get that long pass. But I bet they send the other side this time. The last time they sent the left side of the offense on the run. This next time they may send the backside. We'll see what happens. I love the 4 across play, by the way, if you couldn't tell.
Hey, it was clearly effective a few moments ago. And
there's so many things you can do with it, and so you can show it every time, and every time it looks completely different.
Right. 3.9 in the 6A state championship game. Antonian, the defending champs, trying to create some magic in these final 4 seconds. John Paul II basketball. Again, still worth noting, the possession arrow favors Antonian. If they could get a tie-up quickly here, they could steal possession back. Dominic trying to find someone to throw it in bounds. Who's the foul going to be against?
Well, that's a smart play by Antonian. I don't know who did the foul, but the clock never started.
The foul before the inbounds on Ramos will send Jawan Tott to the free throw line. 2 shots here as both teams are in the double bonus.
Coach Lee is not happy.
First one, front iron.
I can almost hear what Coach Lee's saying to the official. You mean to tell me with all the physical plays been going on in this game, you called that?
Todd has to hit one here.
Yeah.
To make it a 2-possession game. If he doesn't, Antonian Prep with an opportunity here down 3. 3.9 to play. They'd have to fly up the floor. Short.
Short-armed it.
Timeout called by Rudy Bernal. And now a true opportunity for Antonian Prep to draw up a play. They'll have 2.9.
Yep.
It's a very short period of time, but in the same breath, it's an eternity.
Yes, especially if you're on defense. Well, I don't know what they're going to draw up. There's a lot of different ways to do it, but I'll tell you what, it's. I would say it's probably going to be in Ramos's hand. That would be the right thing to do. And the expected thing, I guess. But anyway, we'll see what they do.
It'll be a baseline inbound, 94 feet from the hoop. They need to draw something up, obviously, going in this direction. In an ideal situation, if you're Antonian, that leads to Gavino Ramos having the ball in his hand with a chance to tie the game.
You know, I've often thought recently, wouldn't it be cool if they bring the NBA rule into the college and high school
where they could advance it?
Take the timeout and advance it to the half court. Man, talk about being fan-friendly, huh? And putting more pressure on us coaches.
No doubt. Do you consider fouling up 3 here, or is it too short a period of time you risk maybe fouling a 3-point shooter?
Yeah, I don't want to foul here at all.
2.9, it'll be Ochoa to throw it in bounds. Ramos didn't get it off. No good anyway off the back iron. And John Paul II, state champions, 32 wins in a row. 51-48 the final.
Congratulations to Dan Lee on winning his first state championship, but boy, he set the bar high, hasn't he, in his first year?
No doubt.
I told him the other day, I said, man, what are you going to do to follow this up? He didn't have an answer.
How many coaches get to say that in their first year they won 40 games and a state championship?
That's pretty incredible.
40-1. JP2 finishes. State champs in TAP 6A as they knock off the defending champs Antonian Prep 51-48.
I thought Antonian played a really nice game. It just too much talent.
Gavino Ramos had a chance at the buzzer I don't think that he got it off in time. I think the buzzer had sounded by the time he had released it. It clanks off the back iron anyway.
Now, you know how close that was, though? I mean, that hit the back iron. I mean, it was so close to being right on the money. What a great effort.
John Paul II celebrating with their student section to our left.
As they should. It's always good to show appreciation to your fans.
And again, just to put this in perspective, 32 wins in a row. The last time they lost was 2 days before Thanksgiving.
Yes.
What a season for JP2.
Yes, what a season.
You could make a pretty strong argument based on who they played, who they beat this season. Is John Paul II the best basketball team in the state of Texas, regardless, public or private?
I don't know if I'd go that far, but they're close.
I don't know that they beat Duncanville. I don't know that they beat some of the top 6A teams in the state, but I think they could give them a pretty darn good run. I'd love to watch it.
Yeah. Yep. They could compete with a lot of teams, there's no doubt about it. And they beat a lot of good teams this year.
Trying to take a look through their schedule and see some of the privates, the public schools that they did play and beat. Early on in the season, beat a very good Waxahachie team in 6A, 74-57 early on this season. Beat a very good 5A team, South Oak Cliff, 90-74. Destroyed a strong 6A team. DeSoto's not as good as they usually are this year, but still a ranked 6A team in public school basketball, 80-37.
South Oak Cliff is a storied basketball program, I know that. I faced them, my Trinity Addison team faced them back in '94 in the Dr. Pepper Classic, played at Lowe's Fieldhouse.
Yeah.
That's when they had Tony Battie, who went on to play with the Celtics. And,
oh, wow.
Yeah, we lost by 6. We didn't even belong in the gym with them. We lost by 6 to finish 4th in that tournament.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Let's hand it over to our public address announcer, John Pritchett, as they announce the all-tournament team here in 6A.
All-tournament team member from John Paul II, senior Nathan Dominic. All-tournament team member from Antonian, junior Brian Armstrong. From John Paul II, all-tournament team member, senior Jalen Top. From Antonian Prep, senior Derek Grant. From John Paul II, junior Jalen Tyson. And from Antonian, junior Gavino Ramos. And from John Paul II, senior Jawan Tuck. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2020 6A Boys All-Tournament team members. Congratulations, gentlemen. And now at this time, we'd like to recognize the runner-up team for Conference 6A Boys for 2020. They had an outstanding season. They were the two-time defending champion. They finished with an outstanding record of 35-8 Coach Rudy Bernal and the Chapman Cardinal Georgia, the Apaches of Antonia Prep. As we call your name, please come forward. Coach Bernal will drape you with the runner-up medal. Number 1, junior, Chance Felix. Number 3, junior, Davino Ramos. Number 4, senior, Thomas Martinez. Number 5, freshman, Santiago Ochoa. Number 10, senior, Khalil Warfield. Number 12, freshman, Noah Wertzman. Number 14, senior, Devin Grant. Number 15, junior, Brian Armstrong. Number 22, junior, Nicholas Flores. Number 23, senior, Dante Opala. Number 24, freshman, Mitchell Stein. Number 30, junior, Michael Fry. Number 32, junior, Freddie Amaro. Number 33, sophomore, Michael Martinez. And number 42, senior, Jonathan Parker. Assistant coach, Lou Martinez. And assistant coach, Manuel Martinez. And assistant coach, Bob Brasino. And head coach, Rudy Bernal. Now Apaches, as Antonio College Prep, please step forward and receive your runner-up plaque and banner. Congratulations on your outstanding 2020 basketball season. And now, at this time, we'd like to recognize the 6A boys state champion for 2020, finishing with an outstanding record of 30-1, the Cardinals of John Paul II High School of Plano. Cardinals, at this time, when we call your name, will you please come forward? Coach Dan Lee will drape you with your state champion medal. Beginning with number 1, senior Matthew Lehman. Number 2, senior Jalen Top. Number 4, senior Jawan Top. Number 5, senior Danny Garechi. Number 10, senior Nathan Dominic. Number 11, senior Donovan Johnson. Number 12, junior Traylon Smith. senior Joseph Herzog. Number 15, junior Robert Goss. Number 20, junior Jalen Tyson. Number 21, junior Alec Zambi. Number 22, junior Robert Brown. Number 31, junior Nicholas Kendall. And number 32, sophomore Cameron Corey. Assistant coach, Trey Gibbons. And assistant coach, Ryan Parker. And head coach, Dan Lee. And now Cardinals of John Paul II. Please step forward and accept your state championship plaque and banner. The Cardinals 2020 6A Boys State Champion. Congratulations, gentlemen.
What a basketball game. What a basketball game. Antonian Prep kept chipping away and chipping away and chipping away, but not able to overcome John Paul II. 32 consecutive wins for the Cardinals, a 40-1 season, and a state championship. And they get to celebrate at midcourt with a plaque, a banner, some ribbons around their neck.
And a basketball. You get to keep
Not
the
a bad
game ball
night.
when you win, you know. Another evolution for Dan Lee.
What a first year for Dan Lee.
Oh, yeah. I was telling you earlier, I had talked with him a few days ago and said, you know, man, what are you going to do for a repeat? Because you do something like this your first year, man, the expectations are so high. What happens if you don't do that again? And he was, you know, it is what it is. He did a great job. He's a great coach. I'm telling you, he's a great coach.
You can probably rest on the laurels of this one for a little while, but he does have talent coming back. Jalen Tyson, their best player, only a junior. He's back next year. Cameron Corrin, a key reserve, only a sophomore and 6'8", and who knows, could be still growing. Alex Zambi, a junior, 6'5". They will have some height next year. Think about that as your front line. 6'5", 6'6", 6'8", they could be across the front.
That's one of the biggest starting lineups around, I would say. I don't know what other. And you know, Mike, we were looking at the schedule they played a little bit ago, and my goodness, you know, maybe they are one of the best teams in Texas.
They beat a team in Waxahachie that is ranked number 11 in the state in 6A public schools, 74-57 earlier this season. That was actually the day after. That was the start of their 32-game win streak. That was the very first game of this 32-game win streak that is now still active and includes the first state championship in JP2 history.
That's amazing. It really is.
Meanwhile, Antonian Prep, a fantastic season once again. State champs a year ago, 37-6. This year, 35-8, and state runners-up in 6A. Rudy Bernal's club, a ton of talent coming back. Ramos, their leading scorer. Ochoa, just a freshman. Just imagine how much better he's going to be a year from today. Devin Grant, they lose, a senior key player today, had 20 points actually to lead them in scoring. But Brian Armstrong, a junior, Freddie Amaro, a sophomore, 4 of their 5 starters back next year. Chance Felix, a key reserve who played really, frankly, very good defense on a much taller Jalen Tyson today, is only a junior as well. Tons coming back for Rudy Bernal, and you figure they'll be back here at this stage again next year as well.
Chance Felix is my hero. I like the little guys that take on the big challenge.
He took on a big one today, but JP2 just a little too much. And the Cardinals with a 51-48 win to claim the 6A state championship and the first state title in program history. That'll do it for the 6A state championship. One more game to go in this gym, another game in the auxiliary gym. We've still got the 1A and 3A state championships to go. 3A here with us on TAPS TV in a moment. You can catch the 1A game on TAPS TV as well. Both those games set to start here in the next half an hour. We hope you guys will join us then. For now, for Earl Garland, I'm Mike Leslie. We'll see you guys in about a half hour.